Just 6 months ago, we established two goals: to end extreme poverty by 2030 and to boost shared prosperity of the bottom 40% of the population of all developing countries. And yesterday, we announced an interim target to reduce extreme poverty to 9% by 2020. Achieving these goals has become the central purpose of our institution. This week, the World Bank's Board of Governors will consider a blueprint for transforming our operations, structure, and culture so that we can reach our goals. This is the first strategy that brings together all the institutions of the World Bank Group under a single framework for results. We must act with urgency and purpose. In our State of the Poor report released today, we found that 400 million of the world's extreme poor in 2010 were children. How can we in good conscience not do all we can to lift these children and their families out of extreme poverty? They can't wait for progress to emerge slowly. They need our help today.
Alex Brummer, Daily Mail, London. In your opening remarks, you referred to the need to replenish IDA. Do you see any serious problems there, given the budget deadlock here in the United States?
We're all watching very carefully, and we're all hoping that there can be some kind of resolution. You know, we did a review just recently of what happened to developing countries after the August 2011 near miss on the default. And what we found is that in developing countries, the cost of borrowing, bond spreads went up about 75 basis points and persisted. That elevated bond spread persisted for months. Also, the stock markets in developing countries dropped by about 15%, and that also persisted. So what we know is that even a near miss will have a real impact on developing countries. And so we are watching carefully, and we just urge all policymakers to move quickly to come to some resolution, because the impacts are going to be severe. And so if you look at those, the increase in the bond spreads and also the falling of the stock markets, again, those have a direct impact on U.S. exports. 50% of exports are to developing countries. So we hope that for many, many reasons, policymakers here move quickly and resolve this crisis. IDA and our IFC have been working very closely together to ensure that first of all, the very precious official development assistance that still remains $125 billion a year, which seems like a lot of money. The most important thing is to make sure that those funds are used in combination and in a way that really brings in more private sector funding. And so IDA not only is a good value for money, but it's one of the best ways of helping countries crowd in private sector funding. Having said that, we know that these are very difficult times. We also know that every single government has to look at every penny of foreign assistance more carefully. There's actually a direct interest in ensuring that the developing countries continue to grow. And I think there's also a tremendous moral concern about those living in extreme poverty, a concern that's shared by all the advanced economies.